Hello, couple goalers.
Wow, hello, couple goalers.
Yeah.
Couple
I
of
just
goals for a couple goalers.
spitballing or what we call
Just-
our listeners.
Have we ever said that?
No, we have not. I just,
That is new.
you know,
That is new for the
couple
location.
goalers.
I guess because we're now more casual on the couch, it's easy to just do that, isn't it?
Why not?
What's been going on? I feel like
Well, you've been on a grand adventure.
I have been on a grand adventure. What have I been doing?
You went to Australia.
We've already spoken about that.
Oh, okay. I lose track of the weeks. It's just
Yeah,
like
it does
all
go
rolling
very
into one.
quickly. It does go very quickly. But I did go to Australia and it was great fun. And now I'm back.
This week has been sort of a little more quiet. George and I have been doing some songwriting. We caught up with our mate Forrest Black, who, is a good mate of ours, but also an incredible artist. And we wrote a banger with him the other day.
What's it called?
I literally can't remember.
Is that what it's called, or you literally can't remember?
Isn't that funny? Like, you go into a studio and you hear the song all day and it's like in your head and you go to sleep listening to it and it's like looping around your head, and then the next day it's like wiped for me. And
on Saturday night, so I got back Friday and we went to the listening room where you guys played again, or played a song with Phil. And Phil's boss, I feel like, Liz Rose?
yeah, so he's publisher.
Sorry. She has written like 17 of Taylor Swift's bangers. So she's
like songwriting royalty.
Yeah, she's a guru. But the amount of times when she was up doing this writer's round, and essentially what a writer's round is, for those who haven't experienced one, definitely recommend experiencing one. You'll jump up on stage and it's not necessarily the person who's performing the song, it's someone who's played a part in writing it. And it was just like banger after banger after banger, but the amount of times she had to get up the song lyrics or the title of the song, because she's like, well, once you finish one song, you just move on to the next.
Yeah.
And I was like, interesting. But she's probably written thousands of songs. So
yeah, and it's not like she's having to rehearse them and
yeah,
sing
you
them.
just catch and release sort of thing.
Right, and that's what it's like with new songs, because we haven't rehearsed them. I just forget.
Yeah.
I forget what they're called. I forget the lyrics, how they go, how they sound. I just know that it was good.
Yeah, 100%. So today we're going to answer some questions from you guys as well. I put it back on the Instagram. We got some questions through, so we will do that. What's been happening in Patreon world?
Patreon world.
Yeah, rundown.
Oh, well, I post my daily affirmation quote.
What was your affirmation today?
It hasn't gone out today.
Ooh, what would it be? Feel good, look good, am good.
I do try and just make sure that people are feeling good for their day, because it goes out in the morning in Australia. It's the afternoon
so 3 o'clock here.
Yeah.
Right on.
And I try and incorporate, obviously, I'm passionate about body image, so there's a bit of that in there.
I was only saying to you a couple of days ago, I want to see more bikini shots on the gram again. More body positivity, but also more bikini shots.
Getting into the bikini shots again.
I reckon.
Well, there's no ocean here, so it's
cool. There's a
very limited
beautiful day outside.
Opportunities. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of, I'm in a weird spot with that.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it's just like with Instagram, they're like, you got to be niche down.
Is that with the goal to grow? Yeah.
So it's like, and then here we're chasing the music dream. So I'm like, okay, I feel like I have to choose, which has been hard.
It's interesting because there is so much advice, and I don't think anyone really knows. I think it's at some point something will take off, and then you buy into the person. The person that I'm learning from at the moment has a completely opposite approach. He's be a generalist, meaning you are who you are. So you could be a great musician, for example, but you're not just a musician. You're also a wife. I'm talking about you here, but you're also a wife, a sister. You're running 10Ks. You're doing all these other things that I think people do find interesting. Because when I first stumbled across this guy's content and he was talking about that, it was so against the grain.
Yeah.
And then I thought back to when I followed, for example, Rich Froning or Matt Fraser. I was I always wanted to know what their actual life was like, not just training.
Yeah. But they say that you should do that in the stories.
Well, I'm not. Hence, my account sucks anyway.
I feel really stuck on social media at the moment. Just, I haven't grown any. And it's just I don't know what I'm doing there at the moment.
Why is it important for you to grow?
Well, it just means that you're reaching new people, and I don't know. I guess it's not really that necessary, but it's growth, you know? It's like your business growing, literally.
What I think is like you've got, 86,000 fans, followers.
Something like that.
My thing is like, okay, well, if they're following you for body positivity or music, it's just if you can tap into those people and add more value to their life and do it in a way that brings monetary value to you, then it's like, this equally beneficial relationship, because I feel we both say, like, for those who use social media and you create content, it's not as easy as just like filming something. Even this podcast, you don't just roll in and do it, because I feel like there has to be some intent and some desired outcome to make it mutually beneficial.
Yeah.
Because if you don't find it beneficial personally, you're probably not going to do it long term.
Yeah. I've just quickly, are you supposed to press that?
No. So I've got it plugged into the computer today.
Just making sure we're recording here.
Yeah. It is. I could have done a test one. So let me just run through and we'll circle back around. Because we've gotten so busy, we've had to work out we've always been busy, but now it's like extremely busy. We've had to work out how to make the podcast possible while minimizing the most post-production. The post-production's like the editing, show notes, reels, all that sort of jazz. And it normally takes a lot of time, but what I've now done in my own podcast is purely I've stopped meeting people face-to-face for podcasts, as much as that's fun, because the idea is just to get conversations out there and information out there, which means there's a great platform that we use. So if I plug the Rodecaster in, which makes sound quality awesome, it goes through there, but then AI does everything else.
Wow.
So AI will give us a title suggestions. It'll give us show note summaries. It'll create reels for us. Even though they're probably not the best reels, it's still, yeah, we don't have to do it. And it doesn't cost any more. So if you're looking to start a podcast on a budget, Riverside is your friend.
That's cool.
Back to it.
What were we going back to?
No, anyway, we were talking about social media growth. Anyway, it's boring for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of stale for me at the moment. Social media, even just like scrolling other people's content, I'm like, there's nothing that's really interesting me at the moment.
We just get so bombarded.
Yeah, I'm feeling bombarded. I don't know what to contribute at the moment, and I'm just like, I don't know. I think it's pretty normal to go through these like waves of motivation with social media. And you got to learn to ride, keep posting through that. But I haven't actually posted any of my content for like 2 weeks.
Do you feel that you're not personally inspired?
Yeah, that also, like, I'm waiting for my next song to come out, so I haven't really like...
New song?
Yes.
What do we got?
Patreon members got a first listen of my next single called Thing For You, which
let's do a little writers round.
I'm pretty
What's
sure most
it about?
people here are Patreon members. Thing For You I wrote with my buddy Phil Barton,
who you did the listening room with,
and also Nash Chambers, who's Casey Chambers' brother, on my first trip to Nashville back in 2019. So I've been sitting on this song.
5 years old.
I know. Isn't that crazy? But that's the way songs happen sometimes. They just like have to wait their turn. And this one, I've loved it for a long time. I just like haven't found the right time to release it, because it's not going to be like a single like Small Town Rumours or Overthinking. They're like radio singles that I spend a lot of money on making sure that it like gets out.
And marketed.
Because for those of you who don't know, you actually have to pay for singles to be serviced to radio.
Everything costs money.
Everything costs money in the music industry, especially. But this one is just like going to be an organic release for the fans. And it's one of my personal favorites. Just it's got like a dreamy vibe.
We'd love to hear from you. I would love to hear from you. Guys, post in the comments or wherever. What do you think about music release? So it's an interesting time because, and correct me where I'm wrong, because I will be wrong, but a music cycle, you would release a couple of singles and you'd obviously have big build-ups on them trying to get radio play and get in front of as many new people as possible, then you drop an album, right? Whereas now, do you feel it's changing because Spotify and, there's 75,000 or 750,000. Anyway, somewhere between there, new songs uploaded to Spotify every day.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of content. So as fans of Shepherd and fans of Amy Shepherd, would you prefer like music releases more regularly, like every 6 weeks to 8 weeks, or do you enjoy having the sort of 4 singles a year roughly and an album every couple of years? I'd love to hear from them.
Obviously, it's going to be more music, but I would love to do that as well. But again, it costs money to produce a song. It costs money to have the assets and the photos, and it also takes time to do all of that as well. So that is a struggle for independent artists. And it's easy for some artists who can produce their own songs.
Well, George is getting there.
George is getting there, which is going to be helpful. But I don't produce, so I don't have a passion for it. It's not my thing. Probably never
DJ A Shep. Imagine that.
Probably never going to be going down that route. So never say never, but it's really complicated, and I just don't want to do that as well. So I have to hire someone to do that. And that's where the struggle comes in, because it's like, yeah, and you got to like make sure you're promoting it properly on social media. It's like a whole thing. It's not just like, oh, just drop the single, and otherwise you're just like dropping it into the ocean, which we've seen many times.
It's crazy. But I think as well, I was listening to Ryan Tedder. He's like, you can always repurpose songs now because there is so much coming out there. You could, what you've done a song from 5 years ago now might be the time, or even songs that you've released 10 years ago that maybe didn't get the traction as other songs, for example, from the Bombs Away album or whatever, re-release those. And like some people have never heard them, and it might be the best thing ever. And it's like that's already produced and ready to rumble. So interesting. What a time to be alive. What else has been going on? Let's not talk about
all music.
Yeah.
What else? We are getting closer and closer to moving out of our 1-bedroom apartment.
I cannot wait.
We've got some boxes at the door now. We literally should start packing because we're going on tour on
2
Monday.
days time. Monday?
Oh, you're leaving earlier.
We're driving. Amy and George are flying. I'd rather drive, to be honest.
So would I. I wish I didn't choose that. Yes and no, because how long's the drive?
Like 19 hours. But we're doing it over 2 days. I don't mind seeing the countryside, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't mind driving, but also I don't want to exhaust myself.
Yeah.
So George and I are flying in because we'll have that a show that night.
I've been on way too many flights in the last little bit that
fair.
I just am happy.
Sometimes flying is just like harder.
Way harder going through security, and whenever you walk through, I don't know what you guys think, but whenever I go through security and you put in your bag, and in America you got to take your shoes off as you go through the security checkpoint, I always get nervous.
Yeah, they make you feel like a criminal.
I have never been in trouble, and for whatever reason I'm like, fuck, what if someone's like spilt cocaine on my backpack or something, and like
do you know that happened to me in
what, cocaine on your backpack?
Singapore.
Cocaine on your backpack.
If you have any traces of drugs on you, or if you have any drugs on you in Singapore, it's like death penalty.
What's the backstory to this?
Well, so before you get on the plane, so we were going on tour to Europe and we stopped off in Singapore, and you go through security again and they swab your bags, and mine went off, and I was like, oh my God, really scary. And I think that swab is actually more for like traces of bomb. Explosives. And anyway, I got pulled aside and everyone like boarded the plane, and no one realized that I was left behind. I was like,
oh, they full on searching you.
Oh my God. Yeah. They searched my bag, and then they just did a background check on me. I could see like they were like searching who I was and rah. And then they let me go on.
Did you get some new fans that day after they searched who you were?
Yeah, maybe. I think they did another swab and they let me go on. But I was
that was
like,
probably
why
the same
did that
time
come
that their
up?
Bombs Away album happened.
Like, does it come up randomly, or is it like, did my bag touch something?
Don't know.
It's really creepy. Anyway,
I'm
Singapore
sure
is
they have
not
a
the place
quota,
you want
just like
something that to happen.
breathalyzers and stuff like that. Maybe there's a quota, but
yeah,
who knows? It's scary. I think it's there to keep people terrified.
Yeah, probably.
I hate it, especially in LA. They're assholes. Most
The
of the.
TSA are not your
Oh,
friends.
actually, I went through Houston this time.
Was it good?
It was San Fran hands down. If you're flying into America from Australia, San Fran's probably been my most enjoyable experience. Houston, like the Texans are Texans.
Right.
That you don't want to mess with the Texans. And so like this guy did a thorough check on me, asked me why I'm back here. I'm like, well, it says on the visa, buddy.
Yeah.
So just do that and stop being an asshole. But anyway,
You made it.
I made it. I made it back. And here we are. What else have we been doing? I feel like, Luke Combs has got a exhibition at the Country Music Hall of Fame we're going to go see on Saturday.
Yeah.
Can't wait to tell
Can't
you
stop
guys
talking
all
about
about that. It popped up
Um,
as an ad. I didn't even know.
I wonder why.
And I was like, Amy, we're doing this as a date day.
So the Country Music Hall of Fame is the museum is just down the road. We can walk to it from here. We've been a few times. It's always fun because they change things up and they have exhibitions of a certain artist. So I've seen like Casey Musgrave's exhibition. She had all her outfits, and that was probably my favorite one, like because I recognize a lot of the outfits that she wore on the red carpets. And then they've got like Taylor Swift lyrics that have been handwritten. They've got Garth Brooks lyrics. They've got all of like the gold records. They've got Elvis's car.
Yeah, the
there.
flaky gold one.
They're made with like fish scales and gold. It's just crazy. And then I've seen a Chris Stapleton exhibition there.
He is incredible. He was playing Bridgestone Arena the other night. He missed it.
So and now is it Luke Combs exhibition?
It's now Luke Combs.
Sweet. So we'll go see that.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
I
always find it interesting hearing the stories.
Yeah, we did that. And we also went to the Tomato Festival last weekend.
Oh,
Which is a big deal here in Nashville. It was like everybody in Nashville was there. It's in East Nashville, and I still don't know what it's all about, but it's like celebrating tomato season.
it's so odd. There's a thing called the Chinchilla Watermelon Festival. Have you heard about it?
I have.
And for those who haven't heard about it, it's in Chinchilla, which is maybe 2 hours west of Toowoomba, which is maybe 5 hours west of Brisbane, or 5 hours. But they do it really well. I'm not saying the Tomato Festival wasn't done well. I just thought if you were like at a tomato festival, you could start throwing tomatoes. That would be fun.
But this was more just like
food and
food,
dress ups.
A lot of music and like random flash mob dancing.
Yeah.
Everyone was dressed as a tomato, except us.
I was so jet lagged. As soon as I had my first meal, we had some wiener dogs, hot dogs. As soon as I had that, my eyes were just like, I got to go. And I left. That was that. And then what did we do that night? That night was when we went to the listening room.
Yeah. So we've been keeping busy as well, trying to be a little bit more social because otherwise you go mad in this one bedroom apartment. Well, should we answer some of these questions?
Yeah, let's answer some questions. All right, so what we're going to do, can you just check your messages? Emma's messaging through. Sorry, guys. All right, so let's go. We'll start at the bottom. When together, actually, that one's serious, so I'll come back to that one. Amy, is there a chance on October 29 we can witness Home to Me live?
On
I think that's the Perth show.
Perth show. Well,
VIP.
Do you have VIP tickets? Because it's not in the set because obviously it's an Amy Shepherd song, but we do take requests at the VIP experience. So we do like a little acoustic set. We do Q&A. You get merch in that package. So recommend grabbing the VIP for sure.
Perfect. Get the VIP. All right, let's go next one from Kelsey. I'll let you read it, top right.
How do you keep date nights and time for each other alive when you're both so busy? Look, there's always time for date night. Maybe not always, but usually there's like, whether it's for dinner or whether it's during the day. Or
we had a date day yesterday.
Kind of. Like
unintentional.
We were feeling really tired and just like mentally drained yesterday. So we literally stayed in bed pretty much all day.
Yeah. And watched films.
That
was fun.
Yeah. That was not a highlight day for me because it was just like miserable. But we realized that we were like, okay, let's just use this time to spend with each other. And yeah, we what
Wrote
did
a
we
song?
watch? No, we watched
Dear Zachary,
oh
a
my
documentary.
the saddest documentary ever.
Yeah, let's not go into it, but you
but
guys.
anyway, it was nice to spend the time together just doing nothing. And I think it's important just to get those little pockets of time. Sometimes it is hard.
It's definitely hard. I think we know, like, and obviously we're around the other siblings and their partners all the time as well. So I think we know when we need time.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like opting out of the group dinner.
If you feel like you aren't, if you feel like you're not, I wouldn't even know what the word is, but if you feel like you don't feel close to each other, that's probably an indicator you need to spend some time one-on-one.
Right.
Or do some fun shit. Hence a date day with Luke Combs on Saturday. But I think we
You're
just
not feeling close to me.
no.
Oh.
We make
I'm right
time
here.
for it.
Yeah, I think we're
No,
due
but
for a date
sometimes
night.
I think you can even be in the same space and not feel close because
Connected,
you
yeah.
like, you know, you got emails, I got emails. There's stuff going on, or stressing about certain things, or people are always around, so it's hard to like prioritize that time at times.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's like a gut feeling, and you know you should do that, and that's when you got to be like, Amy, no more group dinners. We're hanging out tonight. Or she goes, Lockie, no more exercise today. Lay in bed with me. Something like that. All right, I will hit the next one. Advice for moving in with your partner. What to discuss, etc.
Ooh. I think it's important to have a conversation around boundaries and like what are you okay with? How much wardrobe space do you need? But you kind of figure out that stuff pretty quickly.
I think, yeah, because as much as from experience, I would say do these things. What did we do when we first moved in together?
I don't know if we
I
had
think
any.
we were
We were
so
just like,
freaking excited.
yeah, we just were like, let's just do it. You figure it out on the way.
I think,
But if you're worried about it, maybe just have a conversation. Like, think of some questions or boundaries. Is there anything that you?
Like, are you splitting rent or food or like
Yeah.
those things? Like,
Do you like to have your own special dessert that no one touches? But you've got to remember that when you move in with someone, you're sharing everything.
yeah, and you figure that out. There's going to be things that pop up that you didn't even know about. And this is, I guess, part of maturing in a relationship. When you live with someone, you get to see them more than anyone else. So you'll see and experience things about them that you wouldn't have noticed if you weren't living with them. So that's when you get to have the conversations and grow. So you can't necessarily prepare for that, I wouldn't say.
Yeah.
I would just say like, simply put, if you're going to move in together, be prepared to grow together or you'll grow apart.
Yep. Good one.
Bang. All right, you're on next. From Tim, second right.
What is best holiday? The best holiday. Is that we've had or?
Well, let's say the best holiday that we've had. We'll add to that, Tim.
We've been very fortunate to have many, many holidays and cool experiences. But we keep talking about Spain.
Costa Brava.
Went to Costa Brava and it was pretty special. Just low-key beach vibes, small Spanish town.
There wasn't a lot of people around, which was amazing.
And it just felt like really authentic. You know, like no one spoke English. And
Sangria on the beach.
The food was just like amazing.
It was also good because we didn't have to travel. Like, obviously, we travel a lot. And when you're in a place, it's like, you know, you've spent time traveling to get there, and then you got to travel 20 minutes across town to go to a restaurant. There's this constant travel.
Yeah.
Whereas at this place, we walked everywhere, which was to the beach and back to the house. And that, to me, is just like full on relaxed. Because as soon as you start adding travel into it, it's another thing to stress about or focus on. Costa Brava, Spain.
Check it
amazing. All right, this one's... Have Yaz been watching any Olympics, and what's the buzz like over there?
We did watch a little bit of the Olympics. We go to this Vietnamese restaurant and they would play the Olympics. And I'm going to miss that big screen
Yeah.
playing the Olympics. We caught some of the swimming, some of the Aussies winning, but the broadcast here is like predominantly to feature the Americans.
Yeah.
So it was only like the races that Americans were in with the Aussies that we saw.
Or if an Aussie won, then they wouldn't even do the interview with them. They would cut to an American.
Yeah, it'd be like on the
"Whoa."
American who came second.
I was fortunate. I was back in Australia for most of the Olympics, so I got to see that. One of the coolest things is the track and field.
Oh yeah,
It was. I think it is our most successful Olympics to date.
it's great.
But it was really cool seeing Jessica Hull in the 1500 meters women get second. Like, it's very rare that Australian athletes medal in track. Like field, we've done well, but track, it's always awesome.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, ray gun is all over everybody's feeds here in the States as well, which is interesting. Yeah. She's taken over the world.
She's taken over the world with the bunny hop.
It's a kangaroo hop.
Oh, it's a kangaroo hop. Wallaby hop. So, final question. You can read it, bottom right.
When together, how do you decide on what movie to watch or what music to listen to? Movies, we kind of compromise and we pick one that we both like.
You've been pretty good lately, though, letting me watch my not war films, but like action films.
I hate action films. So
when
boring.
when I'll just put on Amy's like, okay.
I hate movies that are just like
surrendered.
gunfire the whole movie, and you're like,
John
this is
Wick
so
and
boring.
Extraction.
You can't even tell what's going on. There's just
You can. There's solving the world's problems.
No, it's just gunfire. It's not my thing.
Gets me going.
But if it's more of like a thriller or something, or like a drama, I can get into it. So usually action movies are off the cards. Unfortunately for Lockie. But when it comes to music, we both like country music. I have a thing where I do not like listening to the same song twice in a row, and Lockie likes to listen to the same song over and over again. So there are discussions around that, but I think you've learnt.
But I also feel, and I think I've definitely said this a number of times, and everyone listening to this is going to back me up 1,000%. When something makes you feel good, you should do more of that thing. Like, it's that simple.
No, not with music, because then
No, but there's always going to be...
you very quickly get over it.
Yeah, but there's always another song coming. Like, there's 75,000 songs a day. If you can't find another one that makes you feel good...
I know, but maybe that particular song doesn't make me feel it the same way it does for you. So I don't like to hear it on
But
repeat.
don't you love having a happy husband?
I do.
So there you
can
go.
listen to it once and then...
Happy husband, happy hubby, get more chubby.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, gosh.
All right, what's your Reddit this week? Let's wrap this bad boy up.
Okay.
Everyone's probably getting close to being at work.
Reddit. Okay, wife wants a third kid.
All right.
My wife and I in our early 30s, we have 2 girls, 2.5 and 6 months. My wife has started to bring up the desire for a third. Financially, we could manage, but I don't think our marriage could. Our dynamic right now isn't great. I work in education. I'm usually gone from 7 to 7 on weekdays. Oof. She has long-term maternity leave right now and looks after the baby. When she asked why I don't want a third, I told her that we can barely handle 2, and the mental toll on us would be way too much. Even now, she sends the 2-year-old to daycare 5 days a week because watching and playing with them both is too much for her. On top of that, when I get home from work, I become the one in charge of the kids. And if the kids overstimulate her, then I get in crosshairs. I don't know what that means.
Just say overwhelmed.
Yeah. I used to have patience, but as the years have gone, I match her volatile energy. I said that until she can regulate her emotions better, I can't agree to a third. When I told her this, she got upset. Personally, I really want to try for a boy, and I love my kids, but I don't know if I can handle the wife. The wife? Am I out of place?
I'm going to let you lead this conversation, and I will just chime in.
Ugh, this is a tough one, and I have friends that are probably going through this as well. Like, they want a third, but the husband doesn't. It's kind of like classic.
Classic. What do you mean?
I feel like a lot of like women want more babies and their husbands don't need more. But I don't know. It's hard. I think I would probably lean towards not having another one if your relationship isn't
Phew.
great. At least give it some time. My advice would be to give it more time, work on your relationship, and once that's feeling better, then you can. But I wouldn't just cut off and say no more babies. Like maybe just say let's work on our marriage, maybe get some marriage counseling, figure out your schedules, and if it all is all going well, then you can reconsider having another baby.
Yeah. Like, why do you want another baby is what I would like to know. Like, is it because, you want to be more of a mother, but then it brings back to like, well, if your kids
Already
are at
struggling with
daycare,
the two,
if you're already
yeah.
struggling, then we need to find a solution for that problem before we add more fuel to the fire. But then if it's just like, oh, it brings more excitement into our life, I'm like, okay, well, maybe you're doing that for the wrong reason. How else can we find excitement?
Mm.
Because
And I know he wants a boy, but the likelihood of having...
it's a 50-50 chance every time.
No, it's not.
Okay, let me work this out. So if you could have...
I think the probability is it's going to be a girl.
Okay, I'm not going to argue because I have no idea.
I think I read that. I will look it up. But I'm pretty sure it's like once you have a girl, the next time, the probability of having a girl again is like crazy. And then again,
No, but what
if you have
about...
two...
What about your family? George was first, so the probability of having another boy should have been higher, right?
Correct.
But it didn't work
Well,
that
it
way.
doesn't always work that way.
And it didn't work
but
that
the
way.
probability doesn't
my
mean that...
My parents had a female
Yeah, but it's
first.
genetics.
Possible probables. Who knows?
That's why you see families with like they all have all girls.
True. If anyone knows, please send us articles because I have never heard about this and now I'm worried. How do I get my son? Well, it's a real thing. Like, we haven't experienced it yet, but when we do, it's like daunting. One thing I'm worried about, and I think a lot of men experience and worry about, is you go from being one of the most important things, and you still are, but you also get pushed to the back burner is what I've heard. And like, that's hard because there's no real conversations about it and it just happens like that. And the relationship takes a back seat, and you can listen to two sides of the same story where some people and some psychologists that I listen to are like, you still need to prioritize the marriage first over the kids because that's what will make a great family.
Also, working from 7 to 7 is pretty rough.
I know, but that's the reality for a lot of people.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Shit's getting expensive.
Yep.
Fucking hell. But yeah, so it's like, that's tough. But then trying to find solutions and that's hard. And sometimes most people are just too knackered to even be able to think about the solutions. Like, some people know what to do but don't have the energy or the not patience, but like, yeah, they're just stuck, which is sad. Anyway,
on that note,
Man That Can podcast took over again. We will be back with another episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. And if you want to hear Amy's songs unreleased, are you doing more like snippets and give people the elevator pitch for Patreon?
Yeah, Patreon. So you get your daily affirmation, you get the visuals for couple goals. It gets released there first, and also you get sneak peeks of songs before they come out. And I try and just like keep everyone updated there first.
Are we going to go live in there again at some point?
Yeah, we do need to do that.
We will tee that up and put it in there, so we'll probably do that.
Yeah, so we do lives, and also on the $15 tier, you got to let me know your Instagram account because I follow you back.
Ooh.
And I add you into my close friends story. I've had a lot of people join and then they don't give me their Instagram, so I can't add them in. I DM them and stuff, but don't get back to me. So that's a bit of
Maybe
an issue.
check your what's that inbox where it's hidden? Spam account. Check your spam account to see if Amy has messaged you.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here once again. If you loved it and want more, join Amy's Patreon. If you loved it, share it on your socials and invite your friends to listen. Thank you.
Hooroo.
Hooroo.